our most comfortable seat. And let's place one hand over the heart, and one can be just grounding down into the floor. And I want to share with you a breath practice, a breath pattern that I learned from Muji. This is a big inhale. Breathe in as much as you can, and then take 3 extra sips of air at the top of your inhale. So it looks like and then exhale, long exhale, and take 3 extra puffs of air out at the bottom of your exhale. So we're inhaling, big inhale, and then 3 extra sips of air in. And exhale with 3 extra puffs of air out. And you can take these breaths smoothly, or you can introduce just a moment of pause between each cycle. Little pause after those 3 sips of breath of air in, and maybe another pause after the 3 puffs of air out. Good. We'll do 2 more rounds of this breath pattern. And here, keep your eyes closed and just invite your hands to your lap. And watch your breath as it begins to return to normal. Feeling any shifts that might have happened. This is a good breath pattern to release anxiety, and to release taking it too seriously-ism. Bring yourself back to the heart of who you really are. The next inhale, let's invite our palms towards each other, and we'll take the sound of Om. Nice big inhale. Oh. Good. Big inhale here. Let's stretch our arms up to the sky. Exhale. Let's twist to the right. Bring your right hand behind your body. Left hand's going to come onto your knee. Nice big inhale here. Breathing deeply. Exhale. Find a light drawing in and up of your belly button. Hold this shape. Relax your abdomen. Breathe in. Exhale, find that light contraction, belly button in and up. Good, relax into your belly. Big inhale here. Holding the shape for your exhale. Inhale, bring it back to center. Stretch tall, maybe look up. Exhale, we'll take the other side, twisting to the left, gaze over your left shoulder. Breathing in, get nice and tall. Breathing out, draw your belly button in and up. Nice big breath in, breathing as if you could breathe beyond the edges of your skin. And breathing out fully. Good. Inhale here. Let's unwind. Stretch your fingers to the sky. Maybe look up. Rotate your palms forward. Bring your gaze forward. Bend into your elbows. Good. Rotate your palms towards each other. Inhale, stretch up. Maybe lift your gaze. Exhale, palms forward. Elbows bend. Angel's wings. Inhale, stretching up, looking up. Exhale, find those angel wings. One more nice big inhale. Exhale here, bring your palms through heart center. Good. If you have a seat underneath your sit bones, go ahead, scoot that out of the way. Bring yourself into a cross-legged position on the ground here. And we'll begin to stretch your fingertips forward. So we're cross-legged here, fingertips stretching forward as much as you comfortably can. Keep your hip bones settling backwards. Nice deep breaths here. Press into your palms, arms nice and long, pressing your hips back. Breathe into your back body. Good. So playing in our class today with the concept of Leela. And Leela is the playfulness part of our practice. Invites us not to take our practice so seriously, just to enjoy the movement and the breath and just the joy that's inherent in each moment. So let's begin here to step our hands in, lift our torso upwards, and we'll work our way to our hands and knees, finding our way to our tabletop position. It's settling your palms beneath your shoulders, knees beneath your hips. Let's inhale, find the cow shape of the spine. Maybe take a nice little move here, embracing that playfulness. Exhale, press into your spine, coming into the cat. Maybe find a little meow. And mooing, bring your back nice and long, lift your eyes upwards. And with a maybe little hiss, press the center of your spine up, drop the weight of your head down. Good, take a few breaths here, just moving here, arching your spine as you inhale. Exhale, finding a nice rounded spine, heavy head. And sometimes we get a little stuck on the alignment principles of our practice. And here, really just want you to find a space where you're enjoying the movement, worrying less about the outer shape and more about how this feels. Good. Let's bring ourselves back to center. Gaze down. Let's walk our hands in towards our knees. Toes here are curled under. So hands coming towards knees, toes curled under. Few options here. Option one is you can keep your fingertips here plugging into the ground. Option two, with your toes curled under, is you can bring your hands to your heart center. It's going to be a stronger stretch on the sole of your foot. So if it's too much, you can always bring those fingertips down, ease off a little bit. If your hands are at heart, we want to keep you busy. So we'll inhale, stretch, open, nice big yogi hug. Exhale, hug inwards. Notice which elbow is on top. Keep your elbows lifted. Give yourself a little squeeze. Nice little hug here. Good, noticing which elbows on top. Let's inhale, stretch, open, big invitation to hug. Exhale, bring it in, opposite elbow on top. Keep your elbows lifted, give yourself a snuggle. Big hug here, good, big inhale, let's open. Exhale, bring your fingertips back down to the ground. Press into your hands, lift your toes away from the ground, give your toes a little wiggle, and find a little rotation into your ankles. Good, and here, settle your feet back down. Option to curl your toes under or not. Let's rotate your fingers inwards. Walk your hands closer to your knees. You're pressing the front of your forearms forward. Roll your shoulders backwards here. Peel your heart upwards and lean your head slightly outwards, moving here towards our lion's pose. In our lion's pose, we open our mouths and stick our tongues out as much as we can. At the same time, we open our eyes as wide as we can, look up and find a little soft roar in the mouth. So it looks like this. Big inhale through the nose. Little whisper lion's roars. We'll do 2 more of those. Big inhale. Good. This one, stick your tongue out as far as you possibly can, as if you're trying to touch your collarbone. Open your eyes as wide as you can. Good. Let's rotate palms forward. Walk yourself back long into your tabletop position here. Spread your fingertips wide, curl your toes under if they're not already, and bring your hips up and back, coming into our first downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Give yourself some space to be wiggly here, bending and straightening opposite legs, maybe wiggling into your hips, maybe even finding a little forward and backward rocking here. No movement is off limits, just anything that feels good. Noticing areas of tension or tenderness in your body. Just give yourself a little compassion, a little extra space in those areas as our bodies begin to open. And gently work our way back into a little bit of stillness here. Keep your spine nice and long, neck nice and long, eyes looking back towards your toes. Good, nice big inhale, lift your gaze up, lift your heels up. Exhale, hop or step your feet forward. Find a forward fold at the top line of your mat. Take an inhale, bring your fingertips to your knees, lengthen your spine long. Draw your belly in, let your spine lengthen down towards the ground. Plant your hands on blocks or the floor. Come back to our shape of the forward fold here. Nice inhale, bring your hands to your hips, roll your shoulders open, use your exhale, press the floor away from you, coming up to standing. Inhale, stretching for the sky. Exhale, bring your palms towards each other. Nice big inhale, reach up, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Exhale, lead with your heart as you come into your forward fold here, Uttanasana. Find your half lift, fingers to your knees, spine long. Exhale, draw inwards, plant your hands on the ground, step your right toes backward. Nice long right leg, and then lower your right knee to the ground. Good, so here, fingertips are going to stay down. If the ground feels a little bit too far away here, go ahead and set a block underneath each hand. So we're inhale, back knee rises. Exhale, back knee lowers to the ground. Always the option to slip a blanket underneath that back knee. Inhale, press your knee up. Exhale, lowering down. Move with your breath here. Good. The next time your back knee settles down to the ground, let's pause here. Back knee down, uncurl your back toes. Sink your hips forward here. Lift your gaze up. Nice big inhale here. Exhale, straighten into your front leg. Send your hips back. Good. So here we're inhaling forward. Hips come forward. Exhaling, send your hips back. Eyes look down towards your toes. And find your own rhythm here based on your breath. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Good. The next time we come inhaling forward, let's pause here. Good. Pausing here, inhaling forward. Let's curl our back toes under. Lift your back knee away from the ground. Good. If you're on blocks here, maybe scoot the blocks out of the way. We want the steadiness of hands on the ground. Two options here. So option one, press into your fingertips, lighten your hips, and hop to switch your legs. Option two is we'll just step the back foot forward and the forward foot back. Either way, we'll come left leg back, left knee down to the ground. Bring those blocks back in if you're working with them. And we'll curl now the left toes under. We're going to inhale, left knee up. Exhale, left knee lowering. Good. Let yourself find your body's rhythm, your own breath as your guide here. Good. One more time. Inhale, back knee up. Exhale, back knee down. Good. Option two, uncurl those back toes. Lift your chin up, look upwards, big inhale here, open heart. Exhale, straighten into your front leg, walk your hands back. Now inhale here, hips forward, chin up. Exhale, hips back, chin in. And again, just find your body's rhythm here, following your natural breath. Good. Next time we come forward, let's pause here. If you have blocks beneath your hands, scoot those blocks out of your way. Curl your left toes under, lift your knee away from the ground. Spread your fingertips wide away from each other, and then press your front foot back, coming back into the long line of our spine of our downward dog. Keep pressing into your hands, anchor your hips up and back. Big inhale here. Exhale, open your mouth, breathe out of your mouth. Inhale, bend into your knees, lift your eyes up. Exhale, drop your gaze back to your toes, straighten into your legs. So we're going to inhale here, deep bend into the knees, lifting the eyes. Exhale, lift your hips higher, let your neck lengthen long. So inhale, looking forward, bending into your knees. Exhaling, hips lift, gaze lowers. Good. Nice big inhale here. Next time you come to the long spine, take your inhale statically. Exhale, bring both knees to the ground. Separate your knees the width of your mat. Bring your big toes towards each other. Sink your hips towards your heels and let your head rest down on a block, on a blanket, on the ground, coming into our pose of the child. Arms can rest here, either in front of you or back by your heels. Good. And on an inhale, let's begin to bring our hands forward if they're not there already. Bring your palms down, walk your torso upwards. We'll again come back to this hands and knees, little tabletop position. So walk our right foot forward between our hands. Bring both hands to your right knee. Good. Curl your back toes under. Lift your back knee up and away from the ground. Lift your arms up to the sky. So coming into a tall lunge, but straight legs. Good. Let's exhale. Bend into your right knee. Hover your left. Hands to heart. Inhale, hands lift, legs straighten. Exhale, bending here, hovering, not lowering fully that back leg. Inhale, straighten. Good. The next time you exhale, bend into your knees, but bring your hands to the ground. Good. As your hands come down, we have a similar option as last time we were in a lunge. You could step or jump to switch your legs here. So the step is back foot forward, front foot back. The jump is pressed into your fingers, lighten your hips, and hop to switch your feet. Good. Either way, let's lower that right leg to the ground, right knee down. Bring both hands to your left knee. Good. Gaze forward, curl your right toes under, lift that right foot up, bring your palms to heart center, Anjali Mudra here. Good. Inhale, straighten into both legs, stretch your fingertips up. Exhale, hands come to heart, back knee hovers. Inhale to straighten, exhale to lower. Good. The next time we lower here, bring both palms down. Step your front foot back, returning to our Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. If your body here is craving movement, go ahead and give yourself that. Otherwise, bring your movement into the breath. Feel the movement of your breath moving as your outer body comes to a stillness. Good. Next exhale, bring both knees down to the ground. Let's bring our right foot forward between our hands. Walk your right foot towards the outer right edge of your mat. Bring your hands on the inside of your right foot. Lift it on blocks like I'm doing here, or hands could be on the ground. We're going to take a longer hold coming here into our lizard pose. So you could keep your arms nice and long, or if you're working with blocks, you can change the height of your blocks. Bring your elbows down to any height of your blocks here, or all the way down to the ground. And these longer holds gives us an invitation just to go deeply into the breath. Yeah, let yourself breathe fully here. Releasing, stretching into our hips. If you're creative here, you might find a little sound that a lizard makes. Might make a silly face here, releasing tension held in the face. Good. If you're down into your elbows, let's go ahead and press into your hands, straighten your arms. We'll again walk our foot towards the center so that our hands can be on either side of that foot. Plant your palms in the ground, fingers spread wide, curl your back toes under, lift your back knee up, and we'll step it back into that shape of the downward dog. Nice long spine, gaze back towards your toes. Let your arms here be extensions of your spine. So as you press down into your hand, you find a greater stretch into your back body. Good. Next exhale, let's bring both knees down to the ground. Walk now the left foot forward. And bring your hands on the inside, left foot inches towards the left side of your mat. And here, option to bring your blocks in. Might stay high as we take here our second lizard shape, or you might choose to bring your elbows down to any level of the blocks or all the way down to the ground. Good. Gaze here forward. Consciousness on this movement of your breath. Good. On your next inhale, if you're not already using straight arms, straighten into your arms. Walk your foot inwards between your hands. And then press into your hands to invite your front knee backwards, preparing ourselves to come back to our downward dog here. Toes curl under, bring your hips up and back. Find your breath here. Good. Next exhale, let's lower both knees down to the ground. Bring both hands up to your hips. Good. Here's an area we are going to be putting a little bit more pressure on your knees. So if a blanket would serve you here, go ahead and give yourself some extra padding underneath your knees. Excuse me. Hands here on your hips, roll your shoulders open, point your elbows back and draw the inner edges of your elbows towards each other. Begin to press your hips forward, lift your gaze upwards. Maybe stay here, hands on your hips. Maybe bring your hands to your thighs. Good, let's inhale here, get nice and tall. Exhale, press your hips forward, lift your heart up. Maybe the hands come down. Inhale here, nice and tall. Exhale, take a seat on your heels if that's comfortable, or on cross-legged. Try to keep your spine nice and long here. Moving towards a little bit of our back bending sequence. Nice deep breathing. Now, if in that little beginning of our camel pose, you started to feel some discomfort in your lumbar spine, separate your knees a little wider than your hips, and that should alleviate any pinching or compression that you might feel there. Good, so as we're ready, we'll come back nice and tall onto our knees, hands find the hips, And again, option to go wider with the knees if you need that extra space in your low back. This time, left hand's going to stay connected to your hips. Right hand is going to reach up and back. Inhale, lengthen into your spine. Let your right hand find your hip. Gaze forward. Exhale, pause here. Nice long spine. Inhale, left hand lifts, heart lifts, eyes lift. Exhale, left hand finds your hip. So we're inhaling into our half camel. Exhaling back to center. Inhaling half camel. Exhaling to center. So you can stay here. Whatever hand isn't lifted can be on your hips, or as one hand lifts, the other hand might reach back for the opposite heel. That's going to be a deeper back bend. Same movement though. So the inhale is arching upwards, reaching back. The exhale is coming to your long spine. A little more dynamic movement here in our camel pose, a little more heat building happening in the body. Feel free to take this at a slower pace. So maybe one breath per movement is a little fast for you. If that's the case, take a full breath cycle and then move to the next shape. And when you find your hands coming back to center, let's pause here. Lower your hips towards your heels or come into cross-legged if that's more comfortable. Bring your hands to your thighs. Close your eyes. Feel into this generation of energy that this movement brings. So anytime we move into a practice that involves curving our spine back, pressing our heart forward, tends to really be heating, energizing. It's also a really nice boost for serotonin, for happiness in the body. So maybe here, find your cheesiest grin. Get a silly smile on your face. Fake it even if you're not feeling it. Big, silly, cheesy smile. And say, ah. And then let your face relax. Good, let's come back into our tall kneeling position. Moving towards here, different variation of our camel, coming into our full camel. Now, if your low back has already been talking to you, two options for you. Option one always is coming back to that nice wider knees and hips. And we could come to our half camel, hands on hips, or option two, opposite hand towards the ankle. So that's our, if our low back isn't happy with us. If our low back is happy and you want to move towards the full camel, we have a few options there. So I'll demo and then we'll all do it together. And so option one is hands stay in the hips, or you could bring the heels of your hands to the small of your back, fingers pointing down, keep your hips pressing forward, gaze lifting. Option one for full camel. Option two is reach for your thighs with both hands. In option three, I don't want you to twist if we go to option three. So we don't want to reach, catch an ankle, reach, catch an ankle. That could cause injury. Instead, trust that your ankles are there. Roll your shoulders back, press your hips and heart forward, reach back and catch those ankles. So wherever we are, find your long spine. Good, honoring where your body is. We never want to push into that point of pain in our practice. Good, taking the variation here that serves you. Nice big inhale. And find your camel pose. Ustrasana here. Take a few breaths. And inhale, nice long spine. Resisting the urge to curve our spine, let's uncurl the toes. Take a seat here onto your heels or into your cross-legged position. Breathing here, eyes closed, gaze inwards, feeling into this practice in your body. Maybe you can find that silly smile, silly cheesy smile, say a nice ah. Yogis use mantra, that little vibration in our throat chakra, to increase harmony in the body, to release stress and anxiety. Adding sound or vibration to your practice is always a positive thing. I'm gearing up for our second round of our camel pose. So, option to do exactly what you did last time, or to take a variation. And so if last time we did the one side camel, here's where we'll do the other side camel. Nice big inhale here, long spine. Exhale, begin to press your hips forward, arc your front body, lift your gaze, coming into your variation of camel today. And inhale, coming nice and tall into your spine. Finding feet in a kneeling or a cross-legged position. Good. Find that release, little sound of ah in the throat. Ah. Good. And if, like me, you had a blanket underneath your knees, let's go ahead and scoot that blanket out of your way. Give yourself a free mat. Bring yourself forward onto your elbows and then stretch your feet backwards, lower your hips down, setting up here for our Sphinx pose. I'm sorry, the name escaped me for a moment. All I could think was Cobra, which is not where we are. We are in our Sphinx pose. So find here a straight line from shoulders to elbows, forearms and palms are down. And just as when we were in our camel, if your low back here is talking to you, go ahead and separate your knees and heels slightly wider. That will ease off the compression you might be feeling here in your lumbar spine. So nice deep breaths here. Gaze is forward. Let's begin to lift and lower opposite legs, keeping your knees on the ground, lifting and lowering your feet. So our camel has already begun to stretch a little bit into our quadriceps. This may or may not be stretching more into your thighs. If this is enough stretch for you in the front of your leg, that's good. Stay here. If you'd like a little bit more, the next time you find your right knee bending, let's pause here. Right knee bent, gaze forward. And we could stay here, or we could take our left forearm, send that forearm parallel to the top line of your mat, reach backwards with your right hand, grab for the inner or outer edge of that right foot. Maybe bend into your elbow, pressing your right heel towards your right glute. Maybe gaze comes forward here. All of these options. Stay with the shape that allows you to breathe most easily. And exhale. If you do have a hold of your right foot, let's go ahead, release, rotate heart forward, both feet down here. And we'll just come back to alternating knees bending, alternating feet lifting. And now the next time we have your left knee bent, we'll pause here. So option to stay right here. You don't need to take the bind if you're already feeling a nice stretch. If you'd like to go further, go ahead, take your right forearm parallel to the front of your mat, reach backwards with your left hand, grabbing the inner or outer edge of that left foot, or bring the webbing between your thumb and forefinger just beneath your toes, and then bend into your elbow to press your heel inwards. Nice deep breaths wherever you land. And let's exhale, release that hold of your foot if you have it. Shine your heart forward. Bring both elbows down to the ground. Good. Lower your heart here. Walk your palms inwards. Keep your elbows down by your side. Tuck your chin in. Uncurl your toes if they're not already. Spread your toes away from each other. Press the tops of your toenails into the ground. Keep your chin lowered here. Head is hovering so you can breathe. Stretch forward away from your toes. Reach the crown of your head towards the front of your mat. Roll your shoulders backwards. Press into your palms. Lift your heart coming up into your cobra here. Exhale, lowering down. Good. Keep that action pressing into the toes. Lengthen long into your spine. Then inhale, lift up, Bhujangasana. Exhale, lowering down. Moving with your breath. Inhale to rise. Exhale to soften. Maybe find a nice snake sound here. Inhaling. Exhaling. One more time. Exhale to lower. Let's bring ourselves here up into a seat for a moment. And so this next shape does take a little bit of setup. And so I'd like to take a moment to demo, show you where I'm going, and then we'll all do it together. So setup number one is you want to clear anything that might be on either side of your yoga mat. So I'm actually going to scoot my yoga mat slightly away from this wall behind me. So you want to have a little bit of space, free space on either side of your mat. And again, I will demo first and then I'll walk everybody else through this. So we're going to begin on the belly. Coming back to our Sphinx pose, we'll bend here into both knees. Good, you're gonna lower your heart, reach backwards, grab for the outer edges of both of your feet, and then kick your feet into your hands, lift your knee up, coming into our bow pose. And from here, the reason we cleared our space is we will be rocking and rolling from side to side. My low back hurts, you might be saying. If that's the case, I have an option for you. So instead of grabbing for your ankles, you're going to make your body long like a pencil and still find that fun little playful movement rolling side to side. So if your back hurts, if that bind is not going to happen, just keep your body nice and long and find that little momentum, little rolling side to side. I can see nobody, so I can only assume you guys are already doing it. Let's find ourselves onto our bellies if you're not already there. Bending into your knees if you're taking that variation, or straightening into your legs and stretching your arms forward if you're taking that variation. Good, and if you have a hold of your feet here, kick your feet into your hands. Lift your knees up, lift your heart up, and then just begin to find that side to side, rocking and rolling movement. Connecting here with the playfulness, the Leela of your yoga practice. There's really no wrong way to do this. And the next time you come back to center, release that bind if you have it. Stack forearm over forearm. Rest your chin or your forehead down. And just find a little release, a little shaking out into your hips. Walk your heels wide if your low back is feeling compressed or pinched. Nice deep breathing here, feeling that flow of life force energy moving through your body, vibrating all of your cells. Good. Let's tuck your chin in, walk your hands underneath your shoulders, press into your palms and your knees. Find yourself on your hands and your knees. Give yourself some space in the front of your yoga mat. So you want to have about the top third of your yoga mat free. Let's reach into the space with your hands. Lift your gaze, lower your chin either to the ground or a block, and if that hurts your neck, lower your forehead down. Keep your hips high as we come here into our downward puppy shape, Anahatasana. And an inhale, press into your palms, lift your torso upwards, walk your hands inwards, keep your toes curled under here as you send your hips towards your heels, lowering your brow down to a block, a blanket, or the ground, coming here into our child's pose. Good. And from here, with the toes curled under, let's uncurl your toes. Let the tops of your feet come to the ground. Keep pressing your hips towards your heels, softening here. And feeling nurtured here, feeling cared for. Each breath available to you. And on an inhale, let's lift the gaze upwards. Begin to walk your hands inwards, lifting your torso upwards. And we'll transition onto our back body. So coming all the way down to your back. All the way down to your back, and then squeeze your knees in as you come onto your back. Good, so option to stay here, bringing your knees in, or we can move towards our happy baby pose. Few options as we come here. So option one is hold behind your thighs, keep bending into your knees, separate your knees the width of your armpits, and press into your heels so that the soles of your feet point up towards the ceiling. Option two is you can reach upwards, grabbing for the outer edges of each foot. And I always enjoy finding some movement as I come to this happy baby shape. So you might be there too. You might just let yourself gently rock from side to side. Deep hip stretch here. So a lot of the work that we've been doing today has been to prepare your body to come in and just enjoy this nice happy baby shape. And you can keep this deep bend into your knees, or you could play with how it feels to straighten alternate legs. It's going to increase that rocking from side to side. So let yourself be in the driver's side here. Let yourself take any movement that's enjoyable for you, worrying less about the outer form and more just about the feel of your practice today, finding this sense of joy, sense of Leela, playfulness. Good, and begin to do still any movement you might have going with your happy baby pose, releasing your thighs or your feet. Bring both knees back towards each other. And then taking the knees to the right, extend your left arm to the left. Bring your gaze to the left. Let your body fall open here into an easy reclining twist. Chathara Parvriti. Breathe deep here. And on an inhale, Bring your body back towards center, knees and hearts and hips. Hug both knees in. And then taking your knees into your left hand. Let your knees fall to the left, right arm extend outwards to the right. Head rotating, looking towards your right palm, breathing here. And inhale here. Bring both knees back towards center. Hug your knees in. Lengthen your heels long in front of you. Stretch your arms backwards. Take a nice big stretch here. Walk your heels and your fingertips both off the right side of your mat. Keep your back body flat on the floor. So both hip points down, both shoulder blades down, just reaching our limbs to the right, breathing into the left side body. Big breaths here. Bend enough into your elbows so that the back of your hands can come easily to the ground here. Taking our reclining half moon, big breaths into the side body. Next inhale, begin to work your heels and hands through center and then off the left side of your mat. Again, keep the back of your shoulder blades, both points of your hips down, but stretch now, heels and fingertips to the left. Breathe here into the right side body. And inhale here, bring your body back towards center. Let your hands rest palms facing up, down by your side. Legs could stay long if that's not comfortable for your body. Go ahead and slip a blanket or a pillow underneath your legs. Take a nice inhale here, and at the top of your inhale, find a gentle retention of your breath. Holding your breath without force. As you're ready, exhale with a sigh out of your mouth. Let your body feel heavy here, supported here. Not trying to control your breath at all. Simply allow yourself this gift of this moment, of this rest. Soaking up all the benefits of your practice this morning. Beginning here to become aware once more of the movement of your breath. And finding some small movements in your body. A wiggle into your fingers and your toes. A rotation to your wrists, your ankles. As you're ready, take a nice big stretch. Reach your fingers back, reach your toes forward. And bring your knees to your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. Find a little rocking side to side. Allow yourself to rest easy on one side. As you're ready, press into your top arm. Bring yourself back to a seat. And coming back to the shape of one hand to your heart, other fingertips pressing into the ground. Bring your chin in and allow your eyes to close. Becoming aware here of the sensation beneath the palm of your hand, of your breath moving in your body. And feeling the beat of your heart beneath your hand. And connecting here with a sensation of being connected to all living beings. And feeling this playful, joyful energy that we've cultivated today, pouring outwards, going to whomever might need it, whoever is feeling disconnected from that energy. And feeling a sensation of drawing energy back inward through this hand that's connected down. Allowing yourself to feel this flow of interconnection, interrelatedness with all that is. And as you're ready, we'll bring our palms towards each other, ending with the sound of Om. Nice inhale. Ah. So grateful to share a practice with you today. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.